Hi, RC friends. I have some time alone in the car to run errands, so this video is going to be a little different than usual, and I don't have anything really specific to say, but somebody asked for an update, and so I'm just going to share what's going on this year. We're doing Robinson curriculum and classical conversations, and I'm just going to talk about how that is meshing together. This morning, I'm running errands, and I've crossed paths with, everywhere I go, I'm crossing paths with people I know through my CC community, and just had a nice 5 minutes in the parking lot with a really good friend, and just thinking about the blessings of being in community with actual physical people here that I can run into and sit down and talk with, and even if it's just jump in your car for 5 minutes in the parking lot and run through some things that are in my head. And it's just really nice having friends in close actual proximity, But there's also something to be said for my virtual community of Robinson curriculum friends, and I just don't get to sit down and have a cup of tea with you. Rarely get to sit down and have a cup of tea with anybody anyway, so maybe it's not that big a deal. All that to say, hi, miss you guys. I'm checking in. I'm just going to tell you where I am, and maybe this will show you some things you might want to do, or some things that you definitely don't want to do. Or if I'm brave and actually enable comments for this video, it might show you some, or you can tell me things nicely, please. No, you're always nice when you talk to me, except for my enemies. That's a different story. Okay. So what am I doing? This year, my kids are grades 4, 6, and 8. So the 8th grader's in Challenge B, and he's in Algebra 2. The 6th grader and the 4th grader are both in Foundations and Essentials. 6th grader's just started 8-7 last week, and my youngest is in 6-5. So math-wise. RC-wise, they have learned to get up and do their math. It's pretty much like clockwork, a lesson a day. They know that's the expectation, and if there's any problem, it's probably the little guy, but we're not trying to finish it at 9 or 10 o'clock at night anymore, so that's very, very good. It's on a day that we can stay home, at least in the morning, it's pretty easy to get that lesson done. And then as far as writing, during the CC year, I think the CC material covers writing, and that's essentials now for the little ones. So my youngest, it's his first year in essentials, and he's been a struggle. It's been a struggle with the writing. That's a different topic, but I'll just hit briefly on it. When he was 18 months old, 18 months to 2 years, we would go to church, and so at the time I would have 3 kids, 5 and under, right? So take them to their Sunday school class at church, and we would go worship, and then I'd come pick them up. And you know the deal, when you go pick up your kid and they go, oh, he was really good, and oh, he colors really well. I mean, the teachers are usually tell you something nice about your kids. When I'm keeping somebody else's kids, I try and do that, right? So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Thanks for keeping my kids. I really appreciate it, because I had an hour break. And then the next week, oh, he's really good at drawing. And then the next week, he's really good at drawing. And I'm like, oh, thanks, yeah. And they're going, no, really? And then one week, they said, no, really, look. And you know how they line up all the papers on the floor in the hallway so you can get them when you leave. And I looked, I'm like, oh, they're right. He was coloring really well. And he was just a little kid, and it was so good, it was kind of freaky. And actually, I remember I took one of his pictures to his well visit with him to show the doctor, this is kind of so good, it's kind of scary. Is this normal? Is he okay? And then looking back, if it was so good when he was such a baby, why has it been such a struggle with the handwriting? I mean, his handwriting is huge, and the letters are half backwards and all these things, and he used to be so perfect. And then I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh, well, I showed the doctor that really good example, and that was probably, just a few minutes before the doctor walked out, gave me the stack of papers about the vaccinations, and then the nurse came in and loaded him up. And it's been a struggle since then. So anyway, draw your own conclusions from that. I have my own semi-firm conclusions. Anyway, so writing has been a struggle, and I'm really, really pleased with the Essentials class this year. I was concerned because it is writing a paper a week, and it's not writing your own thoughts or writing essays and stuff. It is taking source material, reading something else that somebody wrote, and learning how to do a keyword outline from that, and then to retell it back in your own words and write it. So that's a lot of writing for him, relatively speaking. So I was really pleased, like right from the start. He wrote a paper on his own, and I didn't expect it, and I didn't see it coming, but because he does RC and he knows to go do work on his own, and he's not always waiting around for me to teach him things. Now, normally in Essentials, the parent is with the student in class, and most Essentials parents help their kids write papers all week, right? Help them. And the philosophy of the CC philosophy on the Essentials is you can't help them too much. That's the other place. There's two places where RC and CC contradict each other, and that's one. As far as Essentials, Andrew Pudawa says you can't help a child too much, and RC is like, don't help them at all. And the other thing is RC says get your kids out of all groups, and CC is a group. So clearly that is a contradiction. Those are my two contradictions that I found. So where was I? So you can't help them too much. So most parents help their Essential students write the papers, but I didn't help him, and he just, or maybe I hadn't gotten around to helping him yet, or we just hadn't gotten there, or I wasn't expecting him to get that far, but he just showed up and had written a paper, a whole page. It's double spaced, and half the letters are capital letters and half the letters are lowercase, and quite a few are backwards, and all the capitalization is wrong, but who cares? You know, baby steps, one thing at a time. If we're working on this, we're working on this. We're not working on everything. So he's working on keyword outline and writing a paper. I'm just happy that he's actually handwriting a page. Okay, and he's learning the dress-ups, and he's really, and the reason he is able to do this is because the class and the structure of it is motivating him. Because every week they write a paper, and then they get to go to class and read it in front of their peers. And CC likes to create the opportunity as much as possible through all the years for the students to present as much as possible in front of others. So that's really in just a few short, I feel like it's just been a few short weeks, but here it is, it's week 11 for them, and they only go through week 12 and they're done for the semester, the little kids. And then the challenge classes go a few more weeks. Okay, why did I say that? So he's writing 5 or 6 page papers he's embellishing all kinds of facts that actually did not happen, but he's writing, and I didn't see that coming. And so while of course the handwriting is going to continue to be a struggle, he's practicing, he's motivated to do it. I don't have to nag and go, hey, do your paper. A little bit. But he does it on his own, and he motivates himself because he knows he's going to have to read it in front of his peers, and he wants to make his paper sound as good as theirs, so he adds his ly adverbs. And so in order to do all those things, he's having to learn the grammar, which means I don't have to teach it because he's going to get it in the Essentials. So there you go. I like what it's done for him in that respect, because RC-wise, just making him write, I mean, it would have been tears, and it has been tears in the past. So I like the motivation that was brought to him. And I've been into horse trainers this year, and there's a horse trainer, Monty Roberts, like the original horse whisperer, and that's his quote that is sticking with me this year as being very relevant. Motivation is clearly the food of life. You can think a lot on that one. And in this particular instance, motivation, the right motivation is motivating him to write. And a lot of times he and my 6th grader will race on who can get their math done first. But as long as we're home and we have a quiet morning, it's pretty easy for everyone to get their schoolwork done, starting with their math. My middle child, the 6th grader, she's just like clockwork. She just knows what to do, and she does it pretty much. And so not a lot to say there. I mean, they're always going to read. That's a given. And then the writing for the CC paperwork and the math comes first. So my Robinson curriculum is just always a steady underlying base, and it's always there. And challenge B, 8th grade. What is he doing? He's doing his math, and he's doing Latin. It's the 2nd year of Latin. I'm really happy with that. I think that's a good use of their time. And formal logic. Oh yeah. Is there another subject on structure and logical organization type things that we could teach him and make him learn? I think he's got it covered with the formal logic and Latin and algebra 2. And he gets to present every week in class, and he's other things in 8th grade. They do an astronomer per week. That's for the research strand. The skill is to be practicing research, gathering material from given a topic, gather material from different sources, combine it into a keyword outline, and then write a paper on that. So, and then present it, because it's another opportunity to present. So, yes, most everybody sees that here's your astronomer for the week, whoever he is. Let's look up a couple sources online to get you some material to write it on. But I sat down at the beginning of the semester, looked at all the astronomers, went on AbeBooks, ordered a book for all of them, for each of them, and so they straggle in over time, and so he knows whenever an astronomer comes up, I've got a book on it. So my RC kid has to read an entire book for one of his sources instead of just a couple paragraphs or a couple articles that I find online, because my work then is done. I've provided the materials. Now you go do the work and write the paper. What else? So I think my problems are life. My problem is life. Isn't that everybody's problem with life? So yeah, I still maintain that homeschool is easy compared to everything else that's required of you being a parent and raising children. I think the homeschool is negligible. It's so easy compared to the really important things that it hardly counts at all, because look how easy it is for them to learn once you get them pointed in the right direction and provide them good material and a little, stay on the right track kind of thing. But them growing older and getting more independent, not just independent like I can go learn things on my own, but independent like this is what I want our family to do today. I want to go to some friends' houses. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. And learning that the only thing that stands in the way of you and what you want to happen is talking your mom into it, which they are very good at, and I am not a pushover. but they know when, they know when I'm weak. They know when I'm weak. Look, Mom, you could buy this spaghetti stuff for dinner, and it's already made, and then you could go ride your horse, and I'm going, yeah, it's late, and I'm tired, and we're not home yet, and it's time to start dinner, and okay, that was just an example. But they're growing up, and they know the way things ought to be. Oh, and another thing I'm seeing across the board in homeschoolers is they think this is normal. I don't know if they understand this is a nice, sweet childhood where they just get to focus on learning all the time, and there's all these things they don't have to worry about. So I don't know how to work that in. So just things like that. And then on the lighter side, the thing that I have to deal with is very easy if we just stay home all the time. We can get our work done, everybody's in a pretty good mood, and life is normal and predictable. But when you throw in things like basketball and piano and dance and guitar and horseback riding, the schedules get difficult, and trying to make sure we all spend time together as a family and eat together as a family and make sure I still have energy at the end of the day to make dinner. That was a struggle last year, but I'm feeling much better. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. But I'm feeling better. I have a wonderful functional doctor, and he's made a world of difference once I started listening. But I do have a general distrust of a lot of people, including doctors, so it took me a while, but once I started listening, I'm like, oh, I feel better. Thanks. Okay, those are my thoughts and my struggles and what we're going through, and this is my bumpy rural road that I live on. Yeah, and I feel like I really crammed that in to finish saying a bunch of stuff by the time I got home, and did I say everything? That's how RC and CC are working together for me this year. So RC, I'm really hitting the math and some form of writing and reading. Reading's given. It's going to happen all the time anyway in my house because that's all there is to do, is read a book or go outside and pretend you're a squirrel or whatever silly things they're in. My 13-year-old really likes making stop motion videos, so if you want to subscribe to his channel, Knockback Studios, spelled really strangely, maybe I'll put a link to it, and I don't want his self-worth to be measured in the number of subscribers that he has, and I don't want him to check it more than once a week, but blah, blah, blah. He knows how to talk me into a lot of things, and that was a chipmunk that just ran across the road. He was cute. Squirrel. Pay attention, focus. I was talking about, CC and RC. So I've got the RC in the background, and the CC is all this extra stuff that they're learning, and I like it. I think it's a good use of their time. I've got a really good group of friends. They're good for my kids. They're good for me. And the RC helps me do CC because I know that. So I didn't review the memory work with everybody this week. Can I go up the driveway without the phone falling over? I didn't review their memory work. Oh no, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, or all these 100 little things that CC can add if you let it. I know that I'm okay. Really, if you think of CC as just an extra, it takes the pressure off, and they learn a lot of extra anyway, and I think it's really good all the way around. So that was a huge ramble, but I had no direct thought to convey anyway. So maybe you won't ask for an update next time. No, I don't know. Really, it was good talking to you. So let me know what you think if I leave comments open. And check out Knockback Studios just to make my kid happy. And I will try to say something more meaningful later. Thanks. Bye.